Any takers on homework questions? It's okay if you don't. I'm just making myself available right now. 43, sure. And so for part B, we're looking to find all solutions, right? Okay. So here, what we're going to want to do is this looks a lot like a quadratic, right? If I think about y as cosine, then this would be like 2y squared minus 5y minus 3 equal to 0. To solve this, maybe we use the quadratic formula. Boy, oh boy, where a equals 2, b equals negative 5, and c equals negative 3. So we can say x equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2 times a. So negative of negative 5 is 5. Negative 5 squared is 25. Negative 4 times 2 times negative 3 is 24. 24 plus 25 is 49. The square root of 49 is 7. And so if we add these, 5 plus 7 is 12, divided by 4 is 3, and then 5 minus 7 is negative 2, divided by 4 is negative 1/2. So we're like there. So far, so good, Nicole? Mm-hmm. Now we got to put our cosine x back in for y. So this one's all set. I'm just going to go to my unit circle and look for the place where x equals 3. Ruh-roh, Raggy, though, what do you notice? There's no spot. What do we know about the range for cosine? What are the values that cosine can output? They're between -1 and +1. Can I get a value of 3 to come out of cosine? No. What does that mean for this part of the equation? No solution to it. So let's just worry about this one. Well, this one's all set to go. I'll just go to the unit circle and look for where x is equal to negative 1/2. Got to go grab another unit circle to throw in here. So let's see, we got that spot there at 2 pi over 3. And we got this spot down here at 4 pi over 3. And we know for the infinite solutions, we just pop on that extra little add-on that just means that angle and everything coterminal to it. And we're donezo's. that feel okay, Nicole? Were you confused at what the cosine x equals 3 was supposed to do with? It's okay. If you get a sine or a cosine equal to a number bigger than 1 or smaller than -1, it's just going to be no solution. Now keep in mind, tangent has a range of all real numbers. So we can solve tangent for any value. Everybody's okay? But sine and cosine are, they just do this. They're stuck between -1 and +1. Other questions? Okie dokie. I just want to remind you guys here that the test format is on the review. Again, the test format here is a little different than typical. We have 10 total questions. You're only going to answer 8 of them. The first 4 questions are required. 2 of those questions are going to be simplification questions, just like the first part of this review. Then 2 will be solving questions, like the second part of the review. And the last 6 will be trig identity proofs. Of those 6, you only have to answer 4 of them. So you can pick and choose a little bit and avoid the ones you're like, I don't know what to do with that. You can pick any 4 you want. They're not ordered in difficulty. What's hard for one person might be easy for the next. It's just about, like, do you see the pathway to the finish line? Sometimes that's easy to see, sometimes it's not. There are no way, shape, or form or range from hardest to easiest. I'm only going to grade the first 4 that I see. So if you are skipping something, you need to mark that you're skipping it, like put a big ol' X through the entire problem. So like, if this is my problem, I don't want you to do that. I want you to do like, don't be shy, use that pencil lead, like cross out the whole thing, let it be no question that you're not wanting me to grade that one, put a big old stinking X through it. You can start it even, and then decide, you know what, I don't like the way this is going, I'm just gonna put a big X through it. Do I need to erase anything? Not if you put a big old X through it, okay? So the ones that I see with no X's are the ones I'm gonna grade. Would that mean that I would grade a blank one if there's no X on it? Yeah. So put an X on it if you don't want me to look at it. And don't be shy about those X's. Make them large and in charge. If you solve more than 4 and don't mark any to skip, I'm just going to grade the first 4 that I see. I'm not going to grade extras. It's up to you to know that, like, hey, this one went real nice. I know that this feels better than this other one, so I'm going to put an X through one. And even if I did 5 or 6 of them, you need to pick which 2 you don't want me to look at. I'm not going to do it for you. Everybody's okay? Anybody questions about formats? So on the quiz, you're going to get the same basic trig identity sheet that we passed out to you guys, same front, same back. So the extra things that we wrote in there won't be on there. So if you wrote like the extra alternate versions of some of these identities because those came in handy for you, that would be something you'd want to put on your note sheet, right? Because they will not be on the identity sheet that I hand you. So if you rewrote like cosine squared equals 1 minus sine squared, you'd want to, if you need that still, and you wouldn't be able to generate it yourself, should go on your notes. Everybody's cool? Any questions on what to expect come test time? I think this is pretty clear as to like what you're going to have to do, right? The review is pretty representative. In terms of your half sheet, or your note sheet, not a lot to include short of examples, right? I'm not sure that there's not much in the way of like things that'll necessarily help you. I strongly encourage you to have done the, to do the review beforehand, particularly the verifying problems from the review, because you might see some that are the same or almost the same again on the test. You might. Okay? Shouldn't see any tricks that aren't things that we've done in class as a homework problem or talked about in an example or whatever. There won't be Mr. Kulik being mean and inventing some new trick to figure out an identity an easy way that if you don't see the trick, it's like brutal and like never ending. Won't be any new tricks that I haven't done before. Maybe write on the strategies, like the good things to try for when doing these identity problems. But that's the gist of it. So like, for the most part, if the identity problem's like a 5-point problem, basically I would give you like a point per like correct thing that you do, like up to 3 or 4, and then the last of it's going to be like, could you get all the way to the finish? But if you keep doing correct things, things that are okay to do, you don't make an algebra error, or you don't use an identity improperly, or you don't copy something down wrong. If you just keep doing things that are okay to do, and it's clear to me, what you're doing, you should be in good shape to at least collect a bunch of partial credit. Everybody's okay with that idea? Now I want to caution you, the thing that I would be not very generous about is if your work is like a disorganized mess. Okay? Now some of you guys, when we looked at the homework quizzes, and I've looked at some of your homeworks, some of your stuff is a disorganized mess. On the test, you need to do your level best to like have this go step by step, have there be some order, make it clear, like you're moving from this to this to this to this, or like moving from this to this to this to this, that it's not going like here, 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 and like I have to chase the, figure, like run a spiral around your paper to follow your work. Please don't do that. Like be organized with it. Okay? Is everybody okay? And if you're doing a problem and you're like, this, okay, I got it, but it is a disorganized mess, and you're not going to do the problem below it, like, draw an arrow and rewrite it organized in the problem space below it and be like, I'm not doing this problem. This is the work for the other. Just write me a note and I'll understand what's going on. That's okay to do if you're like, boy, this was a mess, and like I see what to do now, but I don't want to have to erase this all. If there's space somewhere that you're not using, like your test will be like 2 identities per sheet. There'll be lots of open space there for you to work in. All right, what do you guys say? Feel okay about what to expect? You heard enough helpful hints from me? Are you ready for me to shut up so you can get going on whatever you need to be working on? Review or note card or both or whatever? Yeah? Okay. That's it for me then. Thanks, guys.